Claudia, it's Angelica, and I'm super excited because today we're going to be making some bookmarks. I'm going to add a little bit of spice to the bookmarks. What we're going to be doing is making nature bookmarks. So what that's going to look like is we're going to be putting pressed flowers and maybe adding some different kinds of like poems or like papers from books or that type of thing onto these bookmarks to make them look super special and pretty and unique. So what I have here are some pressed flowers, Mod Podge, yarn, hole puncher, cardstock, contact paper, and other materials that I'm going to be using throughout the video. The first thing that I'm going to be talking about is poems and different kinds of poems, so that way you have choices if you decide to make these on what you want on your bookmarks. The first poem we're going to be talking about is acrostic poems. I really love acrostic poems just because they really encourage me to use different words and like find different vocabulary, because you have to start your words with specific letters depending on the word you choose. So the word that I'm going to choose today is nature. So what that is going to look like is writing nature down the side of the page and then using those letters to describe nature. The words I chose here are never-ending beauty, actively inspiring, thriving in every season, useful every day, relaxing and refreshing, ever-changing. Okay, now the second poem that we're going to be working on is a haiku. A haiku is a poem that is the style is mostly about syllables. So there's going to be 3 different lines. The first line is going to have 5 syllables, the second line will have 7 syllables, and the third line will have 5 syllables as well. For this one, I'm going to focus less on the broad topic of nature, and I'm going to narrow it down a little bit, and I'm going to describe a scene in nature. So what I kind of want to describe is maybe like some trees by a lake. So let's see how we do. For the first line, I chose to describe the colors I would see. Then my second line, I created some movement, and the third line, I used personification to really bring the scene to life. Altogether, it reads vibrant greens and blues, swaying trees and sun-kissed waves, land and sea dancing. Okay, and my third and final poem is going to be a rhyming style poem. It might get a little bit confusing, but I'll explain it better whenever we're writing it out. The rhyming pattern I'm using is A, B, A, B, C, C. The letters are only there to let me know which lines will have rhyming words at the end. So the lines that have a pink A will rhyme, the lines with a pink B will rhyme, and the 2 last lines will rhyme. For this poem, I wanted to create a bit of a story, so I wrote about a friendly frog. A small frog sitting on a lily pad, wanting to explore and adventure more. He said a farewell to his mom and dad and started to hop along the pond shore. He hopped high and low while humming a song, and soon had many friends dancing along. All right, we've got our poems, we've got our pressed flowers, we're ready to make some bookmarks. So let's get right on into it. I made the tassels by getting smaller pieces of yarn and folding them in half, then looping a longer piece of string through the hole in the bookmark and connecting the 2. You can make these unique to you and add any ribbon or whatever things your heart may desire to make your bookmark as amazing as possible. If you're wanting to try something other than creating poems, I absolutely love adding clips from magazines or my old books
It's a similar vibe, but a much different style depending on how you rip or cut the pieces, and the steps are all the same.
And that was the last of our bookmark making. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good day.